dokie.
Hello, 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 hello. We have a little bit of technical difficulty. It is, Mercury is in retrograde, but for those of you guys who don't know, I am Marie Dene. I'm the creator of the Curvy Fashionista, your plus size fashion resource destination. And today for our Speaking of Curves live, we have a very, 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 very special guest. But today's Facebook Live is sponsored by Fiverr. So calling all my small businesses out there, my independent consultants, all of you out there, Fiverr has launched a new program called The Shift, and it's a microgrant situation where they hook up 3 people each month with $1,000 in credits to Fiverr. Now, if you know anything about Fiverr, girl, you know that Fiverr, you could do a whole lot of stuff with Fiverr. Like me, I'm over here plotting, like if I win this, that's like 3 months of content. Like my mind is going. So we will include the link for you to apply for this grant. 3 winners each month. And it's important for me that y'all know about them and know about this microgrant, because as small business owners, our resources are limited. So however we can get the help, we need it, right? So that's all. That's Fiverr, and we're gonna jump into our special guests now. If you saw the promotions, the shares about our guest, then you know who she is. But to me, Gwen Devoe is a big sister, a auntie, a mentor, a guide who's helped me through this journey with the Curvy Fashionista. I think in 2009 is when I reached out to her. I was a wee little thing. I reached out to her and I was like, hi, I would like to help. I had just lost my job. I was going full time with TCF, and she was like, let's get on a call. So we did. So I asked her if she would be available to come in and talk a little bit about Full Figure Fashion Week, her journey, and what we can expect, because Full Figure Fashion Week this year is going digital. I don't know if you caught our post from yesterday, but we shared all the details about the virtual Full Figure Fashion Week, and it's happening, and this is their, I think, 11th year. I had a count in my head. 11 years. So do me a favor, as you guys come in, say hello, let us know where you're tuning in from, but join me in welcoming Gwen Devoe. Hello, Gwen.
Hi, girlie. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Mercury retrograde.
Yes, ma'am. You know, you're the first person that told me about that. I had no idea what that was.
Oh, all them years ago, huh?
Yes.
And us Virgos, we're ruled by Mercury, so you know, it's just like, okay.
I just thought I was acting crazy for no reason.
Nah, but now you know. Now you know.
Now I
It's not just you, it's kind of what's in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. 11 years ago.
11 years ago.
It's a long time, dude. That's a long time.
It's a long time.
You had this idea about doing a Full Figure Fashion Week for us, by us. Can you share with those people who aren't familiar, who have heard about it but don't understand, like, what kicked it off for you to even go there?
Well, the interesting thing is, what I've been trying to explain to people as we go on and on with Full Figure Fashion Week for so many years is that, personally for me, it wasn't really about the fashion. Okay? I always tell you guys, you are the Curvy Fashionista. I'm Gwen Devoe. Okay? There are days when I don't feel fashionable. I don't really care what label I'm wearing, any of that. But for Full Figure Fashion Week, it was about accessibility to the people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I could not for the life of me understand why we were not afforded fashion, regardless whether or not it was fast fashion, expensive fashion. Why don't you make it in my size? So that was the premise behind creating Full Figure Fashion Week. Accessibility for every plus size woman, or every woman regardless of size. And so that's what it was. It's not like I'm this great fashionista that, you know, I don't even know if I can name 30 designers that aren't plus. You know what I mean?
But that's okay, because, like, you know, they're not I get it. Go ahead.
Yes, exactly. Ditto. So, it was just, it was a little bit of a defiant moment. Oh, so I can't buy it because you don't have it in my size, and I'll find somebody that will. And
Woot.
that's basically what it was. I did not expect this to turn into this phenomenon. So apparently, there were a lot of women out there, a lot of plus size women out there that felt the same way, Marie. And so the rest is sort of history. Here we are.
So you've had you envisioned, you created a platform. So no matter which way you slice it, it's like an intersection of business and fashion,
That's right.
And how it intersects in the plus space. You've created a platform for so many different types of people in the industry. Like, you've launched businesses, you've launched brand launches, like designers have debuted their first collections with you.
Yeah.
You've connected people, created these platforms and communities. Like, let's talk. I mean, for real. But what people don't know, before you did Full Figure Fashion Week, you had dangerous curves ahead.
That's right. Dangerous curves.
That's how I found you. That's how I found you.
Before Full Figure Fashion Week, I did a tour because I've been doing, or not doing, but I've been coordinating, producing, organizing, or whatever term you want to use. I've been producing fashion shows for a really long time. I came out of it. I came into it because I was a freelance model, and I had given myself a certain amount of time to find an agent or agency, and that didn't happen. And so I wanted to stay in the plus size fashion industry. So I decided, I created a platform for myself. Just started to do fashion shows, and then I found like these fierce divas who wanted to go on the road with me. Child, we didn't go far, but we thought we were fabulous back in the day. We were going to DC, Virginia, Atlanta. We didn't go far. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I was kind of a little jealous. Like, I was like, damn, what's going on? I want to see this. And I think by the time I had found you, you had stopped doing them, and you pivoted to Full Figure Fashion Week. I think, right? Yeah, because you didn't do them anymore after that.
Right. No, we didn't, to be honest, we didn't do a lot of tours. I think we may have done 5 or 6, but we were badass, Marie. We were in our own tour bus and everything. We were grand. It was a very fun time in my life. Thanks for that, because I had forgotten about it.
And when you say we, there was folks like Sharon Quinn, right?
Absolutely, from day one.
Mm-hmm. And so, like, for you, you've had your folks like started with you here and have evolved with you to today.
Correct.
Woot.
Correct.
Okay, so let's talk pivot. Let's talk the Rona. Let's talk do me a favor, Gwen. Can you move this direction? This way. A little. There we go. A little bit more. A little bit more. There we go. Now we can see. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So, because we were on split screen, so I want to make sure I see all of you.
Okay.
So, when we're talking about this year and the pivot to digital, before we talk about what's going on and what to expect, along the way, you've made your own pivots and your own shifts with your event. Can you talk a little bit about some of those? Because I think some people think sometimes when you start something or when you do something, like it's like magic. They think it's like magic, and it's like ta-da, and it's like, nah, boo. It's a little.
No. No. Well, for me, first of all, it starts with whatever I do, and you and I talk about this endlessly. It starts with a great team. If you don't have a great team, I won't say you won't make it, but you will be your success will be challenged, and it may take you a little bit longer to get where you want to go. So shout out to my team. I have 2 now, so thank you to the old team that got me to where I am, and thank you to my new digital team. And this whole thing, the theme this year is pivot, don't panic, all right? And so I just want to let everybody know that you always have to use every instance as a new opportunity for growth. and I'm big on growth. While we've been in this pandemic, I've taught myself so many different things.
Girl, we've had to learn.
Right? So not going outside, was helpful to me. I don't even want to go back outside anymore.
Listen.
All right? Because once we get back into that craziness, I think I might lose my mojo a little bit. Because now I'm focused. I am able to focus on really what's important, both in my professional life and in my personal life too. Things are so much better during the pandemic.
It's interesting you say that, because I was having this conversation with someone, and we're like, interesting for some people, and it's also depending on how you look at things, right? Like how you're approaching this. And for me, this whole like life-changing pause, world stop situation has forced me to kind of pare down and focus on what's important, but then also remind myself of the goals and the dreams and the other things that I have had on my like to-do list. So like even as we speak, I'm working on a second site, and then following that another site, because I'm crazy. Mm-hmm. But
ambitious.
Huh?
I would say ambitious.
Ambitious, yes, I'm ambitious, and my word of the year is audacity. So for me, it's like, Marie, like you need to be bold, and you need to be courageous, and you need to step in. And this the Rona would not have, this slowdown would have not afforded me the chance and the time to actually sit down and stop and think about what it is I really want to do and what kind of impact do I want to leave after and beyond. And that's why it was so important for us to start this series to support folks like you, all the indie businesses, the boutiques who are hurting. Like, how do we pour in? And this is my jam, the business of fashion. Like, this is where I get off. So,
That's right.
We can talk. We wax poetic all the time. So, you've pivoted, made adjustments, you've shifted. Now, we are at an epic pivot, because now you are all digital this year. And I saw the lineup, and I'm like, damn, we gonna have fashion shows? How's this gonna work? So tell us a little bit about the Full Figured Fashion Week going all digital, and how you've brought like literally every signature event for Full Figured Fashion Week is online. Tell us about this.
I'm going to paraphrase you. Yeah, I'm crazy. I'm definitely crazy. Yeah. Because it started out, you and I were laughing before the broadcast began. We were talking about, there not being many original ideas. So this wasn't an original. I didn't just pop up and do it. I actually supported someone else at her event. And you know how we do, because Virgos are nosy. I'm all in the background and everything, trying to find out what platform this is. And so I looked at it, and I had already canceled Full Figured Fashion Week. And I said, hey, I think I could do this. Wow. It was much more than I could ever imagine. It's been a learning curve for both me and my team. They're younger, and they have the bandwidth, if you will, to absorb a little bit more than I can. I will absorb it, but it may take me 4 months.
Listen. Shout out to Chase for hooking up this situation. Chase. The situation for this live series, because seriously, I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience to sit here and learn something else. I don't.
It's a lot. So shout out to my team. They're brand new. I've known them all forever, but we haven't worked together collectively. And so I brought them all together because of their unique skills. And all of them had the skill set that I knew that was necessary to get this thing off. And we're excited, Marie. Every day I go, whose idea was this again?
Yours.
And they say, yours. So I can already tell you that it will not be perfect. But in these days and times, we shouldn't reach for perfection.
Right. All right? It's like community support.
That's right. We should just work to finish and execute. All right. Sometimes being able to finish and execute is a lot better than waiting for the perfection. So It's going to be great. God has ordained it. If you're here and you purchase a ticket, that's where you're supposed to be. If you didn't purchase a ticket and you're not there, it wasn't in the plan. No hard feelings. It's all good. We're going to enjoy it. And guess what? 90% is pre-recorded.
Whoa.
So I can sit back in my pajamas.
Come on. No makeup.
One lash and some lip gloss and go.
Wig off.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm so excited. And
So-
I hope you guys enjoy it.
So these fashion shows, like I'm over here trying to understand what is the fashion show situation gonna look like, and will this be able to stream live or no because it's a ticketed event? Like how will that work?
So we all right. So the program itself is a live broadcast, but many of the portions have been pre-recorded already.
Oh.
So we will be streaming it into the platform so that you're able to watch it as if you're watching 5 or 6 television shows or movies or whatever.
Oh, okay. Aren't y'all look at?
Some areas will be live, but we try to keep the live stuff to a minimum because, believe it or not, it's easier to pre-record and feed it than it is for you to do, because then we'd all be like on Zoom or something. No shade to Zoom, but I'm just saying, for that, for what we wanted to do, we wanted to step it up a bit and give you more of a flow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm going to say hi to some folks because they've left some comments. So hello to Juana. Hello to Jill Alexander. We have Becky Jarvis. Lakeisha Zavara. Hey, booze. We have Dee Moore. Jennifer Porter. She said hi from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Dawn Renee. And I think it's Sassy Smith from Maryland. Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Like, I want to make sure, like, I scrolled up and got everything and got everyone. If you guys are just tuning in, we're live with the owner, the creator, the producer of Full Figured Fashion Week, Gwen Devoe. And we're talking a little bit about how she started Full Figured Fashion Week. Full Figured Fashion Week this year is going digital, so we're talking about what can be expected with Full Figured Fashion Week. It's completely different format. Like, you can be comfortable in your pajamas or no pajamas, in the comfort of your home, watching what's going on. So for those of you who've ever wanted to go to New York, so you could watch and participate in Full Figured Fashion Week, you can now do it in the comfort of your home. So, Gwen,
yes.
What is one thing that you've probably learned a little bit about yourself in this pivot and transition to Full Figured Fashion Week all digital?
I've learned that as I've gotten older, I have released a little bit of my control freakism, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Because for this event, I had to rely on others to know more than I know, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not always comfortable with that because I believe that when you're running a production, an event, a company, whatever, you can hire people that know more than you to make the overall success of the company, but you should also know how to do what they do, even if you don't do it as well as they do.
Right.
So this situation was unique and different. A lot of this I did not know, so I had to calm down.
That part.
Let people do that part and let them do what they do, okay? And then I caught up with it. I know probably as much as everybody knows now, probably except Nick, because Nick is the content creator, the video guy. So I'll never know how to do that because I don't have an interest in that. But for everybody else, I kind of know what they do. I can't do it as well as they do. So this was a little bit of a learning curve for me because I always had to know, I had to be on top of everything. I'm like,
How's it go again?
So it was a little comforting. It was comforting to see everything come together and see all the young people scramble and everything. Oh, I can do that, I got that. You know, like Teresa
Listen.
Catone, like she is like by trade, Teresa works in engineering and she's a project manager. So all those little things, Marie, that we're like, how come this is not done? And she connects all the dots. And you need, okay, you know, I'm giving you that. Listen, I saw that Virgo thing go, ooh. Teresa connects all the dots. She can immediately see a disconnect. And that's what you need. We can't do it all. You know what I mean?
And sometimes we think we can, and then it's like, and then you wonder why certain things happen. And, you know, just because someone says that they can do it, they have to be vetted. And like, so like even in building teams, like realizing, you know, the meshing of it, the expertise, the pulling all the pieces together. Now, I have to but I have to sidestep because there's something else, a project that you have that I admire the hell out of, and I think it's so needed and so necessary. Your Silver Fox Academy.
Yes.
I think I'm saying it correctly.
Silver Fox Model Camp.
Silver Fox Model Camp. So for the older plus-size women who've been wanting to model, who've gotten into modeling and stepped away from it, who want to come back into it, there is a market for y'all. Yes. And Gwen has been nurturing and helping to develop silver foxes, as so affectionately call them, and it's so needed because I can't tell you how many emails I get where they're like, the model doesn't look like me, or the model doesn't look like, how am I supposed to wear it? It's a young girl. She doesn't look like, you know, like they want to see themselves and they still want to be fly and cute. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so you're helping nurture a group of women. And how has that been going for you?
It's been amazing. Again, you know, I come up with these things and I'm not great at forecasting.
Okay.
I don't do a lot of things to make a business out of it. Sometimes it's just a passion. I want to do this and I'm going to do it. And then when it blows up, I'm like really, really surprised. But these women, the energy that they have, it's something about a confident older woman, okay? Yes. Husband's gone or maybe he's still there. Kids are gone, you know, they've started their lives, and now you have this free time, and or you've retired and you have this free time and you want to do something for yourself. And that's what they want to do. And, you know, Marie, my speakers have been awesome, okay? They're teaching them, you know, when you start talking about modeling, everyone thinks runway.
Right.
I know how many times I have to tell people, runway is not what's happening. Runway feeds your soul. Runway gives you confidence because people are screaming your name or whatever. But that's not where the money is usually, okay? And so there are so many other avenues. So this is all about giving them the tools that they need to explore other areas of modeling, be it commercial, okay? They've taken acting classes. We've had casting agents there. So it's a whole smorgasbord, if you will, of information that they can go. One young lady turned out, now she's a comedian. She's doing voiceovers. Came in trying to be a model. Now she got flown out, honey.
She got flew out?
Flown out to California to do, shout out to Liz. Okay, you know, it's just been amazing. It's really amazing. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy I started it.
I'm happy that you did too, because, you know, you've like created things. And I think a lot of times, like even for those of you who are watching, who have an idea, who have inspiration, those ideas and those little gems of inspiration are no accidents. Like, even though, like you say, you don't forecast, but your gift innately is about forecasting. You see a need. You see a missed opportunity and you address it. Like, you take, you know, like you serve, you know, and then you react quickly. And I think a lot of times when people are like, oh, well, I've been wanting to do this and I've been wanting, when it comes to taking that leap, you just leap.
I leap. I do.
And for that person who's been wanting to start their business, for that person who's been wanting to create something, can you talk a little bit to that part right there, like that leap, regardless of age, regardless of experience? Because I think so many times people think that they have to have things perfect. They have to have it all together. Everything needs to be right. There's no such thing, by the way.
No such thing.
Can you talk a little bit to that?
Well, it's I think that right now in particular, it's a very unique time to act on those things that you have been waiting to do. I'm not saying that the virus came from God, but the time has come from God, all right? And, if you just think about the last couple of months, we would have all been on flights, we would have been on airplanes and cars, rushing here and there. We have been, slowed down.
We have.
Mandatory slowdown for everyone. And here's the thing. We all have the same amount of time in a day, the same amount of hours in a day to accomplish what we need to accomplish. Now, we really have the same amount of time because most of us were in quarantine, right?
Yep.
Some of us chose to use that time wisely, right? To leverage different things. Others, we've just been complaining and talking about the president and what we don't have. Now is the time, okay? Before everything opens up again, there is still time right now to activate. We must start activating. Get up off your buns and activate what you need to do. You can turn a passion into a profit, or you don't have to. But do something with the passion. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
And I think a lot of times too, like, people look at the end product and they don't realize that it's a journey.
It is a journey.
They don't realize, like, you're seeing
Analysis.
a highlight reel. You're not seeing the struggle that also comes with that. Because sometimes, we're not comfortable talking about it, like, in public, right? Because this world, this cancel culture world, like, oh, you da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, not everyone is comfortable with that, and that's okay. And I think oftentimes, like, when you sit down and talk to a lot of different entrepreneurs, like, it's about just that first start.
Yes.
It's that first step. Like, you know what? I tried it, and I fixed it, and I edited it, and I tightened it up along the way. Because that's what's important, and that's where, that's the difference between someone who's starting it as a hobby who's making it a business, right? They keep going and pushing and growing. And a lot of times it's walking in our purpose without even realizing it.
That's very true. Very
right?
true.
Lakeisha said, say that. And then Keisha said, I think her name is Keisha, she said activate.
Activate, yes, activate.
Now,
Play.
Well, so for Full Figure Fashion Week, do you see, like for next year, I'm planting seeds, a fusion between or with in person, let's say, the world opens up next year, in person and digital? Because now it poses like a very interesting opportunity for yourself. Like a fusion.
I don't know about the fusion, but I can tell you that, I guess this is a fusion too. So for me, I have always been reluctant and resistant to having Full Figure Fashion Week televised, recorded, or whatever. So now that I see that is a viable option, I'm not sure we need to fuse anything. You know what I mean? I might just do it in person and make it available digitally later. Or you're right, maybe I'll do some and some. It depends. I can tell you one of the good things about this is that the cost, okay? When you have an event in person, and you know this, Marie, the cost of venues are crazy. You get locked in contracts, and sometimes the contracts, the owners of the contracts are not great people to work with. We have all these different insurance issues. I want to do this. I remember for our 10th anniversary, I wanted aerialists because I had been in this venue before, and we had the sexy, you were there, the sexy mask event, the black tie masquerade ball. I wanted aerialists. Ooh. And at the last minute, that didn't come through. So I always drop these ideas and I don't think them through until I start, getting the contracts or whatever. So I mean, something like this, having it digital has proved to be less problematic. The only issues that we do have is access, connections. We can't control your bandwidth at home, So if you can just work through those issues and realize that some people just may not be able to get on.
Right.
Get speakers, panelists, everything. You just have to let that go because that's out of your control. But for everything else, I would just like to keep doing it this way. I love y'all, but I don't need to see you again in person at the event.
That's funny. That's funny. So with that being said, can you go ahead and drop the social, the URL, where can they follow, get the details for everything Full Figure Fashion Week? Because it starts this Thursday.
This Thursday. It's going to be wonderful. Tickets are available at the website, FFFWeek.com. You select on the select tickets, whatever tickets to the event you want, and then that's going to take you to the event platform. You'll notice the event platform because it looks like it's our website, but it's not. That's just to get you in. You have to register. This is very important. So someone asked me, Marie, on another interview, well, aren't you afraid that somebody may buy a ticket, get a link, and then give the link to everybody else? Nah, that's not going to happen because you have to register. So even when you go into the event, you have to put in your name, your email address, and the password, the unique password that you chose. All right? So it's a two-step process, which is great. Hey, okay. We're using hashtags FFFWeek20 and FFFWeek virtual. All right?
Awesome.
We're on all the social platforms under FFFWeek. That's Facebook, Twitter, which I don't use a lot, and Instagram.
Because I'm not on Instagram a lot, but I'm on Twitter all the time.
I know you. I think I started Twitter because of you, I think. Because I don't know. Twitter is in real time, right? People talk. I don't want to talk. I don't like that.
But for me, I'll retweet. And sometimes, I'll retweet and be like, oh my gosh. Or or can have conversations. I like the instant of it. And I like that it kind of, it's just the vibe is different there too.
Yeah, so to me, it's more of a business vibe on Twitter. I don't see myself acting out.
I think it depends on which pocket of Twitter you're on, girl. Because there's a
Black Twitter.
There's a OnlyFans Twitter. There's a Black Twitter. There's astrology Twitter. There's politics Twitter. There's all different little pockets, and I love it because you can just
Yeah.
Well, I have to say thank you so much for joining us. As a thank you to you, Gwen, Fiverr is going to be giving you $150 in credits to use onto Fiverr. Woot.
Get out! You better. Oh, what? Hey,
so when we step to the side, once we're done, I'll get your information so they can send you your credits. And we have a giveaway for the watchers.
That's right.
So go ahead and set it up because we have our question.
Okay. So this broadcast with Marie Devoe, the Curvy Fashionista, is being sponsored by Lane Bryant. And I am here to offer one of our watchers who correctly answers the question a $250 gift card. Lane Bryant gift card. Go ahead.
All right.
Say the question.
Oh, am I giving the question? I thought you were going to give the question. Okay. All right. So here's the question, and I need y'all to be paying attention.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's the first answer is the correct answer. So make sure everyone is paying attention. Becky was like, woo. Becky's like, woohoo. All right. We need you to name one of the first designers who showcased at Full Figured Fashion Week. The first person to answer, one of the first designers who showcased at Full Figured Fashion Week will receive a $250 gift card to Lane Bryant.
Yes. And not brand. We're not talking about Lane Bryant, Ashley Stewart. We're talking indie designers. indie designer. Because
Let's
it's too
see.
easy to say Lane Bryant. They're giving away the cash.
Jill said Robert E. Knight. Did he showcase the first year?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Not the first year.
Not in 2009. Oh, maybe he did.
Maybe he did.
Oh, ding, 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 ding.
Well, then Jill is the first one.
Congratulations, doll.
They gave some other ones. Oh my gosh. So Jill, we will make sure. I know Jill, you already connected with Gwen, so she'll make sure you get your gift card. Okay, girl.
Yes, I will. Don't worry. No shade here.
Yes. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We will be back on Thursday. We are featuring an indie swim designer who's having her own virtual a virtual paint and sip party thing happening.
Nice.
And we're going to learn all about her swim collection and what's going on and what to expect on Thursday. So thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you, Auntie Gwen, for joining us and being an amazing guest. And we will catch y'all next week. Bye, y'all.